Hey guys, welcome to Crossing the Line. Zed is here, of course, because now this is her new home, of course. And I'm here because we're sharing a home. So we are here. And today's topic, guys, man, oh man, get ready because I can't say the words because the guy was to us. All right, there's not a boxing announcer that says the words.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
You can't say it.
you can't say it because then you get sued. So I can't even say, let's get ready to
To nothing.
to nothing, right?
Don't
So
say it.
we're not going to do that. But this may stir up some people. This may, I think some people may stand back on this for a little bit, and it may intrigue some people. But neither here nor there. I think it's going to really put perspective at what's going on out there in the world today and how people really think, and how you may not know somebody. I think as much as you think you know them. You think that's right, Jim?
Absolutely, especially when you start talking about this topic, you really figure out that you may not know people the way you thought you did.
So what topic is it?
So today we're going to touch upon religion.
Damn.
Which is one of Johnny's favorites, let me tell you. Okay, so I want to talk about the importance of maybe not religion, but the belief in a higher power. So let's start with that, Johnny.
Okay.
What's your take on the belief of a higher power?
Wow, the belief of a higher power. I take it in a different route. I don't believe in a higher power, I guess you per se. I do believe that there's some powerful energy out there in the universe. It's just like the law of attraction, right? You have positive and negative energy. You can attract whatever you want to attract, right? If you're dark and evil, you tend to attract dark and evil people, even energy around you. I believe in that. I don't believe that there's a god, an old man with a beard, and
why you gotta be an old man with a
beard? Because that's all you should receive. He's never a young cat. I'm not talking about baby Jesus here, right? I'm talking about an old guy. He has the slippers on, he has the sandals on, he has his toga robe, and he's at the gates talking about, I'm gonna let you in or not. I don't believe in all that stuff. I just don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Religion's a whole other aspect of it.
What do you think is going to happen to you when you die?
I am going to turn to dust and just turn
exactly what the Bible says.
Right?
No,
I'm going to be cremated. That's what I'm going to turn to dust. so I'm going to be cremated. I'm going to spread my ashes around, and that's it. Now, do I think my energy lives on? I do believe my energy lives on. I think everyone's energy lives on some type of way. I think your physical is gone, But again, I'm all about energy, and I think the universe has that, and the universe does give off energy. I think there's more powerful energy out there that we don't even understand, even know of. But I don't teach my kids about religion.
That was my next question. I'm glad you said that. So, what do you teach your kids in terms of?
I teach them fucking right from wrong. It's bad if you put your hand in the fire. Don't do that. Like, it's not good to steal your neighbor's wife. Don't do that.
So you don't think you need a religion to enforce that, right? Because I feel like a religion enforces that.
I think religion fucks everything up.
Just like independent women. The Jackson Society is religious independent women are going to just ruin society.
Listen, okay, we gotta be stuck. No, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Religion to me. Listen, I grew up in Brooklyn, the hood of Bed-Stuy, right? And what I witnessed from the drug dealers and the crackheads, some of them were saved by the church, right? But they were addicts in either direction. They were either addicts of drugs or addicts just using the drugs, right? And they became this super preachy person. They just got addicted to another form of addiction, which was the religion piece. And did it save them? Sure. It took another drug dealer off the streets. It took another crack dealer off the streets. Great, it saved them. But now they became this person who's in your face and talking. Now there's nothing else to hear but the word of the Lord. Okay? And I can't take that.
But the belief that
we were created 10,000 years ago. Right? So you tell me you're not going to take your son to the museum and show him a dinosaur.
Would I? I would take him. Yeah.
That goes against religion, though. Religion says we were created 10,000 years ago, and dinosaurs were millions of years ago. So it contradicts everything.
I don't agree with that completely. I mean, when the dinosaurs roamed the world, there was no religion. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying
religion doesn't date that far.
That's what religion's saying. Religion's saying that based on when Jesus came about and the whole, the seventh day came, because even God took a break. He said on Sunday, I'm taking off. Come on, y'all. He said, I'm over these 6 days, and Sunday I'm gonna have me a beer. Right? And he took off, and there the Christians or people of faith saying, no more than maybe 10,000 years ago. That's it. That is it.
I don't know. I feel like you gotta believe, right? When you look around you and you see the trees and you see the flowers and like those things. Where do they come from?
From a seed. Listen, come from a seed, from pollen. It's scientific. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy. What I do understand where you come from. Where did it come from? It came from the universe. We're all stardust. It's very simple.
How do you
stars explode? That helps create items in the universe, and we're part of that. That's it.
So
there's no guy upstairs.
You can't say that. That's like
listen. There's no little old guy upstairs saying, I'm going to do this to this person, and then I'm going to let this person die.
There's so many things that go on, like that happen in the world that are, people identify as miracles, right? Yeah. And if you're already, I could just tone your voice, you're like, yeah. So, how do you explain those situations where they're unexplainable by science?
It's just that, they're unexplainable. Just because, listen to me, we just had a bad storm come through Florida, right? And people everywhere said, send your prayers. No? What about you send people with pumps to pump all the water out the fucking place? That's what you need. Because a prayer is not going to do anything. Now, does that mean I can't learn from religion? No, I'm not saying that. I can learn from Buddhism, from Muslims, I can learn from Hinduism. I can learn from different aspects of different types of religion, right? And prayer to me should be more of a form of meditation than asking for shit. Because that's what Christians usually do when they pray. They're asking for shit. You know what I'm saying? Please don't have this person die, or please save this person, and then I swear I will behave myself. Like that's usually what Christians do, right? So
there isn't ever a moment in your life though where you feel the need to seek something bigger than just yourself or bigger than this world. We've all been through hard times. We've all been in a situation where we just don't know how we're going to get out of it. And having a faith and a belief in a higher power is what takes a lot of people out of those.
I have faith and belief in myself because the action is what leads me to my success, or the lack of action is what leads me to my downfall.
What about things that are beyond your control?
That is called uncontrollable. You know that from business.
Okay, but if they're beyond your control and they work out in your favor,
like the storm just happened. If my house blows away, I can't control that. I'm just a victim of that circumstance.
Okay, let me give you an example, a personal personal story for me that you're very, very well aware of, but for our listeners who don't know me on a personal level. So, I had my son very late in life. I was 35 when I got pregnant, and I was told I wouldn't be able to conceive. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people who are close to me don't even know that. I was told that I wasn't able to conceive. I conceived, obviously, because I have a 5-year-old. When I got pregnant, and even prior to getting pregnant, just from routine checkups, I knew that I had many, many fibroids. And for, men who don't know what fibroids are, because most women know what fibroids are, they're basically like tumors. They're not cancerous, but they're tumors that, develop in your uterus. And for many women, it prevents not conception, but, it can prevent conception, but a lot of women with fibroids do get pregnant, but they typically miscarry. So
it does take up a lot of blood.
Takes up a lot of blood, a lot of room.
The fetus will need in order to grow.
To survive, right. Exactly. That's why you're educated. I like that. So I remember, I'll never forget when I found that I was pregnant. I was very, very early on, and I was in my doctor's office, and I said to her, I think at the time I had like 8 fibroids, like the size of, I don't know, like a size of grapefruit or something like that.
Right.
So I said to my doctor, okay, so now, what happens? And my doctor, who is, very frank and very honest, she said to me, they both can't win. She said either the fibroids are going to win or the baby's going to win, and she said you're at very, very high risk for miscarriage because you have, these 8 very large fibroids and, they're in the lining of your wall, your uterus, or whatever. So I was at very high risk for miscarriage. So of course I couldn't control that, right? That I could not control what my body was going to do. So I looked to something bigger. Now, I'm not like a super religious person. I think that I'm not super religious, but you and I were both like, I want to remind people that we're cousins,
Catholic,
and we were raised Catholic. We were raised the same exact way.
I did my confirmation. Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to go on about my story, but those things that were instilled in you as a child, how do you no longer believe in that? Like those things were kind of embedded in us very, 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 very young. And for me, they've helped me get through a lot of pain points in my life. And I truly believe that it was the power of prayer that got me through many of those moments.
I believe that energy, yes, you put that out there. You wanted something so bad, that law of attraction, make it happen. Excuse me, I don't believe that a being assisted you that you never spoke to, never can hear from. And when people say, think about it, I'm saying right now, right? Everybody says, oh, God speaks all the time. If he really spoke to you, people would think you're fucking crazy.
But there are people that say that he does. That he does speak to
people
them.
that claim they see that Jesus was burnt onto their toast, okay? And they put it on eBay. Really? And you got people praying to a piece of toast with a figure of Jesus, right? So no. Also, there's a part that you skipped out. That didn't you get like a partial scraping that assisted with the fibroid?
Okay, so let's go through my whole medical history so that you can.
Because I know this, guys. I know everything. Okay, so
you're like all up in my uterus right now.
You kind of put me in it.
So prior to conception, right? So prior to conception, when I wasn't able to conceive, doctor put me on a hormone, said this will help you to ovulate because I was not ovulating, right?
Correct.
In addition to that, the doctor said, let's do it's called a DNC, right? It's basically, like you said, a scraping of the uterus, like the lining or the wall of the uterus. And she said, a lot of women do get pregnant.
The Democratic National Convention.
No, all other types of conventions going on in there, but not the Democratic one. So she said, yeah, a lot of people when they get the scraping, it does help them conceive. It doesn't remove the fibroids though. It kind of just gives a little bit more space, but it doesn't remove the fibroids. Okay, so fast forward, yes, I conceived, got pregnant, after, literally a month or two after having the scraping, got pregnant. Then that's where, we fast forward to you still have all these fibroids and you're still at very high risk for miscarriage. Now, as you know, because you happened to be visiting me when I was 11, I think it was 11 weeks pregnant or something like that. And I had, remember, severe cramping, right?
Yes.
And you sat with me, you and my sister, I'll never forget, sat with me in the emergency room while they were running all this tests and everything, and we thought, I was probably miscarrying or whatever. And it just turned out that, the baby was growing, and as the baby was growing, it was pushing my fibroids, and that was the pain that I was feeling, was the pain of the baby kind of moving the fibroids around. So, as you know, and many people who are very close to me know, I had a very, very, very bad pregnancy. I spent many times in the hospital. I was in and out the hospital with these pains, yeah? And they were for women who have had children and know what labor is like, these pains were worse than labor. When I actually went into labor, I was oh, I can handle this, because the fibroid pain during pregnancy was worse than labor pain. And as I got bigger and I progressed in my pregnancy, my doctor was like, there's no way to tell. She's like, they never expected me to go as far as I did. It was get to 20 weeks, get to 25 weeks, get to whatever weeks. And I ended up carrying my son full term. I had to go through many MRIs, and in the MRIs they would show I had fibroids on stems. They looked like lollipops, and the baby was bursting through all of that. And throughout my entire pregnancy, I did so much praying. And to your point, yeah, positive energy. I always remained positive, because there were plenty of people, sometimes people don't know how to speak, right? And they'll say things and they'll just be like, oh, I can't believe that you're still carrying that baby. You're yeah, because if he came out now, he wouldn't make it.
Right. The whole plan is for him to be in here for a time.
Exactly. But through that all, I felt like it was the power of prayer that got me through it, because as most people know, when you're pregnant, you cannot take medication.
And listen, like I said, prayer to me is a form of meditation. Okay, it's a form of meditation to bring positive energy towards you. Okay, but don't make it sound like you're the freaking Virgin Mary either, because that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? It was a series of events. I think you had the right doctor at the right time. I think you're a very strong woman as well. I think things just kind of worked out. I wouldn't call it a miracle by any means. You know what I'm saying? Because you went through a lot, no doubt about it. But you were very careful, and you were very aware of what you should and shouldn't do. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? And because of your awareness, because of your seriousness about having a child, you really took the time out to get yourself surrounded by the right team of people and doctors and stuff like that. And
I felt like a lot of my strength came from the strength of my faith, though.
And that's something that's for you to have, and no one can take that away from you. I can't take it away. Nobody could. If that's what got you through it, then that's what got you through it. I'm not saying you can't have that. I'm just saying I don't have that. Okay?
You don't think that to raise children in the world that we live in today, that
my
some of that takes...
You tell me how there is. And my kids believe in God, and I know.
So how did you work that out then? Is that just based on...
That's based on talking to them. So you know how I talk to my kids. So let me give people a real quick refresh. I don't want to take too long. So my kids were born. I spoke to them like little adults. I never spoke to them about Guru Gaga. Is that true?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I've always spoken to them. And I spoke to them about, they could be 5 years old. I always speak to them about a topic. They went way over their head. No, like I always speak to them like little adults about things going on by current events, and they would like looking at me like, "What is this fool talking about?" Okay, and then as I kept on talking, they kept on getting it and getting it and getting it, and they do believe in God. You ask anyone, they all believe in God. Do they practice a religion? No, they don't. Do they have their own personal relationship with faith? They do. Do I tell them you're an idiot or moron? No, I don't. I don't say that to them because that's what they believe in. Okay.
So you didn't steer them away from believing in God.
Absolutely not. That's not for me to do.
So but your children are the easiest people to influence. Like your children are going to do whatever you do. So if you didn't steer them away from God, then that to me would say there is a small part of you that believes in it.
No, there's zero. For me, I'm a very open-minded person. Okay.
Zero.
I'm a very open-minded person. Okay, and I would never interfere or intervene in my child's development. And if that means they have to go through a faithful process and they have to develop on their own, I want them to make their own decision, not to be influenced by mine. Okay? So when I teach my children or I talk to them and we go over stuff, it's for them to learn and then make a sound decision on their own. Plain and simple. And I'm going to guide them through that process. If that means I have to guide them through their faith, I'm not the right person for that because I don't have that connection. I will guide them to the right person that can get them there, though. That makes sense? You know what I'm saying? So, as a parent, that's my job to guide them in the right direction. So I'm not always gonna have all the right answers. I need to hook them up and network them with the right person who has those answers for them. As a parent, right? Because if they come out to be a crackhead, it's not because of my parenting skills. Because the dumbasses decide to use drugs and get hooked on it. Okay? I've always said that. Now, my job as a parent is to get them to rehab. I'm not good at rehabbing, so I got to get them to a rehab center. And
so your job as a parent is also speak to them, right, about drugs and why not to use them. So as parents, we have to take some kind of responsibility.
You do. And that's called exposure. You have to expose everything. That's why I let my kids get exposed to religion and faith, and they get exposed to me with non-religion and not having faith. And they can make up their own decision based off of that. You know?
So I like to research, right? And
absolutely, you do. Encyclopedia Brown, let's do it.
So I was researching today, the benefits of children and their religion. And how did you know that? Did you research? I was so proud of you. You told me you researched.
Listen, I don't need to research it because I live it. Listen, I live it every day. I don't need someone to tell me to open a door for a woman. You know who told me that? My father. He said, you see a woman, open a door for them. If you want to get treated nicely, you treat other people nicely. Plain and simple.
I'm going to task our listeners to find me an article on the benefits of children being raised in religion, because it was very disheartening for me to try to research earlier today and not really be able to find one legitimate article. I don't want some random article. I want something that's is in a legitimate source. And to the contrary, what I did find was articles on, I'm a paraphrase here a little bit, but I was surprised that I found articles that said something to the effect children who are raised in religion are not able to distinguish between reality and what's not reality because we tell them Bible stories, right? So they're unable then to decipher what's a fictional character and what isn't, because basically we tell them Bible stories. And I was just I can decipher between fact and fiction.
As a child.
I mean, I feel especially like I did.
This is the thing about we're in Catholic school, you're doing your communion confirmation, they're telling you that there's no dinosaurs, right? Or not, you're praying to St. Peter, or you're not, you buy a particular saint, you bury it upside down in your backyard to sell your house. What kind of shit is that? That's what
I did that in Georgia, for real. I remember in Georgia, I could have sold my house. I bought a St. Anthony and buried him in the backyard.
And the Catholic Church has nothing but all types of statues inside the building. And what does one of the Ten Commandments say? You don't have to pray to any other figure but me.
Well,
what do Catholics do? They're always praying to a saint.
Yeah, and I don't. That's something that freaks me out a little bit. Like, I'm not like totally into that, and I'm not really like 100% like vested in the Catholic religion. Like, obviously we were raised Catholic, and we did all our sacraments. They call them in Catholicism.
Right.
We did all our sacraments. And my son goes to Catholic school, but I'm not.
Oh, you're not into it. But my son goes to Catholic school.
I'm not completely invested in the Catholic religion, but that's because of the experiences that I had growing up in Catholicism. But do I kind of revert back to it when I'm looking for something to believe in, or I'm looking for a higher power? I do, because it's all I know. So I do. And I've looked at other religions. I've looked at and all Christianity. It's all been a version of Christianity, right? I've looked at Jehovah's Witnesses and Baptists, and I've gone to non-denominational churches, and I always kind of like go back to Catholicism just because obviously it's what I know.
Right.
But that being said, I feel like children need to believe in something. It doesn't have to be a religion.
Why do they have to believe in something?
Because I think that's where they get their morals from, and that's where they learn to be good people.
No, listen, you teach your kid to be a racist, or you don't. How about this, right? Civil rights movement happened in the 60s. White Christian men bomb a church in Alabama and kill 4 girls. Okay? 4 young black girls. They are not called terrorists or extremists, but they did it in the name of the Lord.
But
religion has started so many wars in this world. They're still going today. It's insane. Okay? Now, like I said, can certain people bring a certain amount of people together to do for good? Sure. That I do believe. But when you see these mega churches with ATM machines in there, talking about, give me your 10%, plus I'm going to pass the plate around another 6 more times while you're here. And matter of fact, let's pray to give me the G5 airplane that I need. Because I have to go somewhere. Like, are you serious? Because, I live in the Bible Belt. When I say you got 10,000 members in the church, they're filling up stadiums. Okay? That's not safe. That's a true religion piece. And I do think there's a difference. Okay? I think you can have your personal belief in whoever you want to believe in, because when the Native Americans, before the English came around, they were praying to the sun, the moon, the stars. They were doing rain dances if it didn't rain. They thought whatever they had to do to try to make something happen, right? Until the English came about and brought Christianity with them, right? But again, if they weren't taught that, were they bad people? No. They knew right from wrong as well, without having a so-called God. And now there's only one God, because back in the day there was multiple gods, right? And then somewhere somebody consolidated, like a bunch of banks decided, hey, let's just have one bank. They just consolidated. Let's have one God, but we're not going to give him a name. He's just going to be called God. You know what I'm saying? Like, that right there alone makes no sense to me. Then you're going to tell me that he came back as his own son. He put himself into a virgin, right? She gave birth to a child, which he's God. He could have came as a man already. He went through puberty, what he has to go through, just to die, right? So could get resurrected. He has to come back. People are still waiting for his comeback. And then you also have the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, which he's actually all 3, which makes him 1. That's confusing as shit. So, my thing for me, I'm not bashing no one. Like I said, you can believe it. You can't even preach it. But when you tell me, do you need it to raise a child? You don't. What you need is a good parent that understands the world that's happening today and going to educate their kids and love them. Plain and simple. Okay? I don't need
I also refuse to believe that this is it, that this world is like this.
Well, that's the thing. None of us know that. But I don't believe that there's a man downstairs with a pitchfork and or red horns. He's waiting for me. Because if you read the Bible, right? I'm kind of probably getting heat for this. If you truly read the Bible, and the part when he shuns, Satan down, all Satan really did was challenge him in his question about why would you want to go ahead and drown these people? Because the Old Testament is rough compared to the New Testament. The Old Testament, God he's a badass. And then if we read the Lucifer part, all he ever did was challenge him and then make it sound like it was a bad thing. He challenged God. And he shunned him down from the heavens. So there was a rift. He didn't agree with what he was doing. So he was like, yo, you got to be gone. That's what people understand. You read the Bible solely, and you read that, right? Or you read Ezekiel. First few paragraphs of Ezekiel, he sees some lights coming down from the sky and some beings come out with 3 heads. What is that? That sounds like some alien shit to me. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible has all these testaments because these are written by man, they're not written by God. These are testaments from people. You have Peter and John and everyone else, right? Writing these testaments. But who's really authenticating it? How can you authenticate it? It's too old. Like Greek mythology. Greek mythology was Zeus and Hercules and everything and Athena and all those other people in it. Like you can argue the fact that was mad close to becoming the Bible. I'm not making fun of the Bible. It has its place in the world. It's the number 1 selling book ever, right? And it probably will for a very long time. But I have the problem with religion being forced down on people. If you want to practice your own faith in your own way, have your own personal relationship with whatever higher being, you so-called God or whoever you want to call him, that's on you. It's fine. If you need that to so-called give you a moral compass, I need you to look a little bit deeper because I know you're a very smart woman. Okay? You're an independent woman. Fuck that. Okay? And you already know right from that. You're going to teach your wonderful child, my nephew, which people I call my cousin my nephew. He's my second cousin. I call my nephew. You're raising him wonderfully. And I don't think it's because of religion. I think it's because of the 2 people he has in his lives. He has 2 of his smart parents in his lives. And you had him in a time in your life where you were older, not younger.
But I do feel like
you give him a different perspective.
But a part of me does feel like he needs a little bit of religion. Like and like I said, I'm not a practicing Catholic. I haven't been a practicing Catholic for a very long time, and I haven't been in a church in probably 5 or 6 years. Since my son has been born, I haven't been. I mean, I might have gone to a communion once or twice, but I haven't been in the church in like 5 or 6 years. That was a personal choice that I've made because, again, like I said, Catholicism for me is, I know that that's not where, it's not the church I want to be a part of in the end, but it's the only one that I know. But that being said, when as my son was starting to get older and he was becoming more aware of his surroundings and he was being around like other kids, I'll never forget one night, like a few months ago, he said to me, and I don't know what we were talking about, but he just said to me, God doesn't exist. And I do believe that there is a God. So for him to say that to me, I was kind of, taken back because I realized I had never spoken a word to him about God. I don't want to say never because we pray, like we do nighttime prayers and things like that, but I don't think I ever made the connection to him that he was praying to God, right? So then I started saying to myself, I'm not practicing a current religion right now, but I feel like he needs to understand what God is, what we believe in. And, part of the reason, I'm not going to lie, part of the reason why I put him in Catholic school, maybe it's a lazy way out and people probably like shun me for this, but part of the reason I put him in Catholic school is so that he can get that religion that I'm not giving to him at home, because I do think that it is an important foundation for children. Yeah, in collaboration, right, in conjunction with what you're doing at home. But I feel like the religion reinforces what you're doing at home. Of course, we teach our son to be a good person. Of course, we teach him to be kind to others. Of course, we teach him, not to take something that doesn't belong to him. We teach him those things, but I feel like religion then enforces that, because religion gives you a conscience. It gives you a conscience.
I think religion gives you structure, or a structure to go by. I think you as a parent gives them all the things you just said. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. I think religion does give you a form of something to follow. And for people who need discipline in their lives or some type of structure, religion works out for them, depending which one they want to go with. Right? Because there's many different religions, because that's what it is, right? So being Christian means you can be pretty much anything, right? Because everyone decided to read the Bible and interpret it a different way. So they said, hey, I'm going to do it this way. And then you have a bunch of people say, hey, I agree with you. I can mess with you. I'm going to go to your church then. This is what we're going to call it. Southern Baptist, or they just said Jehovah's Witness, or whatever it is, right? So if you're looking for a certain type of structure, you can find it. Everything else you said, that comes from you and your man. That comes from being parents. That doesn't come. Religion doesn't give him that. You know what I'm saying? So now, if you want your son to grow up in that, that means you have to also participate in it. You just can't expect the church to give it to him.
No, and that's 100% fact. No, and I'm coming to terms with that as well. Like, I just can't send them to school and be like, oh, I'm just going to pay for somebody else to teach them. I mean, it would be ideal either way out. But no, I
mean, there's a lifestyle change, because there's a lifestyle change that comes with that. That means you're practicing actively. That means your world's going to filter a little bit. Right?
Yeah, but it's Catholicism. Like, you know how we practice. Like,
right. You practice on Easter.
Like,
give a chocolate for 40 days. No doubt. Because Jesus did that on the cross, so you figure, I'm going to give us a Hershey Kisses. That'd be good. So, not to make light of that. I want people to think I'm making fun of it, even though, I'm making jokes. But again, my point is that to me it sounds silly, okay? That you're truly looking up in the sky and you're praying to something that's not there. Now, like I said,
there are plenty of things that are not there that we don't see, that we believe in. We don't see gravity, but we know it exists. We don't see air, but we know that we need it to breathe. So why is it so hard to believe?
Why? Because those things actually give me action. Because my ass is stuck to the ground with gravity. I don't see wind, but I feel that shit when it blows my house down. You know what I'm saying? So, I know it's there. You know what I'm saying? I know it's around. Like, if I put my hand out the car window, you know what I'm saying? I'm going 90 miles an hour.
But there are people that will testify that, yeah, you don't see God, but I was in a car accident and I felt, a being, or, I mean, I don't have specific examples because I've never had
But think about this, right? How many times have people heard that? So it's like you dreaming tonight about something that you were speaking about all day long. You spoke about it all day, so you're conscious of it. People are so conscious now. It's like people saying they see aliens walking around, and they all describe the same damn thing. For 50 years, everybody's just describing the same little gray or green alien with big-ass eyes and a big-ass head. No one has come up with another different being, except for Hollywood, right? So if you keep on saying the same thing, people are going to gravitate to it. Now, like I said, if something happens and it's weird, it's unexplainable, it's just that. It happened. It's unexplainable. I don't think there's someone up there literally deciding which person is going to live or not. And then some people say, well, he doesn't do that because this chick ate the damn apple or the fruit off the tree. She screwed everybody, and now we just have to live our own kind of randomly. And hopefully if you become a good enough person I'll tell you right now, I probably would get in the gates before some of these real religious people would.
I think these religious people will probably debate that.
Listen, the way I live my life, I'm a loving husband, right? I'm a loving father. I love my kids to death. I've been in their lives since day one. I cook, I clean, I speak to people how I want to be spoken to. I teach my kids how to be respectable and loving and caring and interested, and open-minded. And you know how my kids are. They're older. They're 21, they're 18, and 16 years old. And you can speak to any one of them alone without my influence. And what do you hear? You hear them speaking. You don't hear me speaking. You don't hear
but there are people who will say, there are people that will argue that even though you claim all these things, that when the time comes, Catholics believe like you won't get into heaven or you'll get stuck in purgatory. There are people who will argue, okay, you claim to be all these great things, so if you are all these great things, why don't you just go to church? And two, if you are all these great things, that's not going to help you, once you leave this earth, because you never believed in anything.
But what happens to just, that's it. Once you die, you're dead. What happens to that? So I think we're so stuck in ourselves that we're wanting more, because human beings have a short life, right? So since we have a short life, we just want to continue to live. So we're hoping and wishing and praying that there's something after life. But no one can fucking tell us because no one has come back yet. So it's like, if we had proof that there was an afterlife, we'd probably be living totally different. Okay? But we're still doing the same old things, trying to get a different result. And it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. You want to believe, you want to have your faith, you're more than happy to have it. There's billions, with a B, of people praying and worshiping something. That's all good. For some reason, the people who don't believe in it are looked upon as crazy. You know what I'm saying? Which that's not fair. My thing is this. If you want to be atheist, agnostic, if you want to be the super preachy person or the person who just practices on their own, let those people be. Because at the end of the day, if they're contributing to society and they're doing well for society and for the neighborhoods and for their families, but they don't practice faith, why beat them up about that? That makes no sense to me, because I'm not beating you up for being religious. When I get cut off in the middle of the road, if someone has road rage, they stick the middle finger up at me and then they put the Bible to the window. Wow. That's happened to me a few times. Or when you're in the South and someone says, "Oh, bless your heart," that really means go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can say, "Oh, that's just that person." What? There's a lot of you then. Or when you have a priest who's molesting boys, what happens? How many Hail Marys did he have to get forgiven for that shit?
I mean, that's but every religion is pegged with controversy too, right? We can't just say like, oh, the priests are, but that's like anything in society, you know, like
nothing has modernized. The religion, look at the Catholic Church, it has not modernized. You're still saying priests they can't be married to a woman. Why? What is that doing to them? When back in the day, they could be married to a woman, and then they changed it. Okay? And back in the day, I mean like thousands of years ago, right? So the church goes deep. At least catechism goes really deep, right? So now you're saying they can't. Times have changed. Now they're having issues with bringing people into the door for the church because they're still in their old ways. Non-denominationals, a little easier. It's a little more brighter. It's kind of dark and gothic looking, right? You got somebody in the
as the world evolves, people they're not letting go of beliefs. They're just looking for a different maybe approach on it, right? Because yes, to your point, Catholicism is very, very old school, and they don't believe in homosexuality, and they don't believe in a lot of the modern things that are happening in this world. So people have spawned off and made other not religions, but they've made other, what's the word, faiths, and other places for them to congregate so that they're with people just like them, right? Because that's what religion is basically, right? You're looking for people just like you that have common.
But it's giving you false values. So what happens if your kid turns out to be gay, and they're saying that you're not supposed to have a gay kid? What happens then? Are you really going to shun your child for a church? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but I think even the Catholic Church has evolved from that, and
no, they haven't.
I mean,
there's plenty of practices that haven't, that they still look at you being gay as a problem. That's what I'm saying. You're going by a book that was written thousands of years ago, and you're trying to apply it to today's issues, today's world. And
many would say that the things that are happening in this world are written in the Bible, and that the world is coming to an end. Right? The Bible says that men would lay with men, and
you know where that came from? The freaking Romans did that shit with Caesar. They were all in togas, eating grape, drinking wine, and talking about being sexual. Holy shit! Come on. They were very with men back then. You know what I'm saying? That was open back then. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me that. You can't give me that argument. You know what I'm saying? You're going to tell me what happened in 1999. Everyone thought the world was going to end. Just because somebody forgot to put an extra digit in the damn computer so it could change 2000. 2012 happens. The Aztecs had a calendar made of rock. Motherfucker, they couldn't have a big enough rock till they ran out of rock. It wasn't in 2012. Like, come on. Like, every time something happens or about to happen, the world's going to end. It's not. You know what I'm saying? And why are religious people so worried about the world ending? Like, if your God is so wonderful, why are you trying to end it?
It's the devastation that's going to happen first before.
Why? But why? If he loves you all so much, why are you going to kill you off? Why isn't it the four horsemen come through and say, do as you did?
Because the whole goal is to then live in like a beautiful,
Hello, he's God. He can make that happen snap of his fingers. He could blink, and then all that's existing. That's my point. Now, if you want to strive for a better internal life and you feel your Eden is how you preserve yourself and your family and your bubble, by all means, you use all those metaphors for yourself. But if you're taking it literal, then you have a problem. You're reading a book that was written thousands of years ago by men. Men wrote that because women weren't allowed to write. You know what I'm saying? Just think of that. If you want to practice your faith, by all means do it. But you can't have an Old Testament and a New Testament and contradict one another. Because in the Old Testament, you have where they say, oh, yeah, I'm a God-fearing man. Why would you fear your God if he's all-loving? I never understood that.
No, but that's not, you're taking it too literal.
That's my point. Religious people take it literal. That's why they're waiting for the end of the world to come. Oh, the Bible says it. No, it doesn't. How come something happens if it's in the Bible? It's not. Show me what page it's in. Tell me where it's at.
So what do you tell your children? Like, that there's no God? Because that's very contradictory to what most people believe.
Right, and why do I have to believe what everybody else believes? I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow the status quo just because the cattle is going left.
The children handle things differently. So how do you explain that to your kids when?
I explain to the kids what I feel, how I feel. Their mother explains to them how she feels. They're attracted to the whole God thing. I didn't denounce it. I tell them, Daddy doesn't believe this. Daddy doesn't believe this downstairs. Or downstairs, for instance. I don't believe in both of them. Okay? And as they grew older, we have these conversations. And they tell me, Dad, I believe in God. And I was like, I'm still gonna love you. I won't disown you.
Oh my God. Terrible.
Because that would make absolutely no sense to me to disown my child because they believe in something that I don't. Again, I'm gonna be open-minded. My belief is that I don't believe. My belief is that I have to believe in myself, and I believe that actions and energy is going to attract things to me, whether it's negative or positive, and that I do meditate. Like I said, I think prayer is a form of meditation, right? If that's what you want to call it, praying instead of meditation, that's all fine. You can change the words all you want. And if you want to practice it and teach your child, better for you. But for me, it says make sure you teach your child more than just religion. Tell them about science and tell them about the real world out there that science has confirmed. Because there are doctors out there that still believe in God. There's also scientists who are out there that also believe in God. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to do both. It really is.
Well, that was going to be my point about meditation. You've kind of been using meditation and prayer synonymously. And
because that's what it is.
No, it's not. For people who pray, it's not, because
It should be. Because prayer is asking for shit.
And meditating is just the clearing of your mind and being
and
one with
yourself.
You're not.
Prayer should be you really.
Prayer's not asking for stuff. Like when we pray, I'm not like, oh, I want $1 million or I want like a brand new car, and you're praying for like what?
People do it. You know that's right. People be lighting them candles in church, whether you're praying for a car or you're praying for someone's health or their well-being. That's all meditation. That's all energy. You're meditating. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to understand. That if you're doing that, that's great. If you're just using prayer to pray for a car or whatever else, or you're only using it when someone's down and out, and you say, "Oh God, I swear to God, I'll go to church on Sunday." If you're just doing this for a favor, like you know, they're gonna look at you like, "What?" Like, no. Like,
I mean,
go ahead.
No, I should say what's really sad is that all day today, like I mentioned, I've been doing research. Even talking to you now, I've been doing research, and there's so little on the internet about religion and its benefits. So I want people to send me articles.
It starts wars.
Tag me on Instagram. Women start wars too, though. Like wars have been started over women. Like anything can spark a war.
Oh, absolutely, women have started some shit. That's a different topic. Okay, men have conquered land for some ass. Okay, that's a totally different subject. I'm not disagreeing with that. That's what we do agree. But religion, because look at the Middle East. You have two separate religions or beliefs, and they call themselves two different things, and they want to go kill each other. And this for centuries already. Centuries. It doesn't stop. Because again, people are taught prejudice. Okay? Because I don't understand your religion, I'm gonna treat it like shit. And people of different faiths do that a lot.
Those are the extremists, though.
No,
like not every Muslim.
I'm not talking about Muslims at all. I'm talking about everyday Christians. I'm talking about your Protestants, to your Seventh-day Adventists, to this. You guys, they be judging each other. My religion is better than yours. I hear it all the time. Oh, you this? Oh, why? Why are you that for? Like, it's not even an inquisitive type of question. It's more like a judgment. Like, oh, really? Oh, they're crazy. Every other religion is labeled crazy except for yours. You know what I'm saying? When someone says Jehovah's Witness, don't they people cringe? What they associate Jehovah's Witnesses with? Knocking on doors and passing watchtowers. Right? Has anyone ever decided, well, let me find out what it's about? Or if you're Protestant, or you're Seventh-day Adventist, how do they take off on Saturday instead of Sunday? And I'm serious. Yeah. These are things you want to find out. Like, people need to educate themselves. If you truly want to be educated, you have to educate yourself. And if you really want to be a religious person, read the Bible. You know how many people say they believe in God and have yet to read the Bible, or even have gone through Genesis as of yet? You'll find a lot of people, I read the Bible. No, you don't. You know nothing about it. You may know certain paragraphs and excerpts you've seen on Facebook. But you have not read the Bible from cover to cover.
I mean, I have to 100% admit I have not read the Bible from cover to cover, and I haven't picked up a Bible in a long time.
Because you're not a practicing Christian. You have a faith in God, right? You have your personal relationship, you have your personal belief. You just don't associate yourself with a particular religion. You know what I'm saying?
But there's gotta be, I feel like there's gotta be something more than just what's here on this earth. There's gotta be something.
I think like anything else, I think it's about, like you say, you look for higher power. I think that higher power is in with you. What is your higher power? How far can you go? You know what I'm saying? All that energy people put into this book or to a religion should be put into themselves. You are your temple. Like when people say they go to church, church is a temple. And a temple is just for you to go to a place to have that relationship with your God. It could be your house. It could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? People convert fucking supermarkets and make them churches. You know what I'm saying? You can make a church with anything. And that's my thing. If you don't have a relationship, I'm not saying you can't. I'm not even saying you're stupid for believing in God. I'm saying that that's you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No doubt. Because I'm going to tell you right now, other atheists would say you're a dumbass. I'm not saying that because I know you. But what I'm saying, going back to the question of do you need that to raise your child? No, you don't. If you want to put that in there, you can. Would it better him or her? I don't think it will. Because like I said, your son has two great, very smart parents. And whether you give him religion or not, he's going to be a good kid. Is it what you guys expose him to or what you teach him? Now, if you want to throw religion in there as a seasoning, as an extra, you can. And it's going to be up to him to decide for how far he's going to go practice with it.
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, it's up to him. But if we instill those values now, then the hope is.
See, that's what I think. You keep on confusing that. I think the values you have is from your core family values. That's what you're instilling.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's in conjunction, right? It's like I said. It gives your child a conscience. If like the child, I feel like children who don't have religion or don't have a belief don't have a conscience.
That's not true. I can't say that.
What's there to, what is there to, where's that?
My three little ones right now do not know what God is. They don't go to church. And they know right from wrong. They know sadness from happiness. Their conscience tells them that they shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need religion or God to give you that. It's not given. You know that. It's an innate feeling you have because you're a human being. You're already born with this. It's in your DNA. You already know it's right from wrong. The Bible doesn't talk about don't go inside the pool in the deep end. The mother had to tell you that shit. The Bible doesn't say, hey, don't put your hand on fire. Your father tells you that shit. You know what I'm saying?
We are going to have to absolutely agree to disagree on this one.
I'm telling you, man, like I said, I'm not, I think my biggest thing, like I said, for me, like I said before, many times already, I'm not knocking what you do. If that's what gives you your motivation, your inspiration, by all means, do what you need for you. Okay? Practice what you want to practice. Don't push it on me. And when you see my family or my kids, don't look at them different because their father is atheist. Because if you didn't know if I was an atheist and you spoke to my children, you would think, oh my God, what church do you go to? They were like, oh, we don't go to church.
Well, I will say, I absolutely will say in conclusion that you do have amazing children and they totally do have consciences and they are very respectful and loving and decent, productive human beings. So I mean, maybe you can raise good children with good values and not bring them up in a religion.
Absolutely, but like I said, but that's what you need in your life. That's what you feel your family unit has to have. Then by all means, that's what you do. Only you know what's good for your family. I can't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can't tell you that. And everybody can disagree if you want to. It doesn't make a fucking difference to disagree or disagree with you. It's about what you and your counterpart decide what this family needs to be successful. That's what that matters. And if it's religion, by all means, practice it and teach it, right? If it's not, then you need to figure something else out then to fill in the blank. Or maybe it's easy to fill in the blank with something different. You know what I'm saying? But I think you don't need it. You may want it. I don't think religion is a need. I think it's a want. Because everybody practices something, all right? You want to be part of the club.
Some people feel like they need it, though. Some people feel like
some people do feel like they need it. Because I can tell you, I've met crackheads where they had to get out. I met crackheads in Brooklyn that they became religious, and it saved them. The church did good. The church does good stuff when it feeds the homeless and things like that, and it gets people together. If someone needs that rock, someone needs something to hang on to, that anchor, right? And if you're at your lowest point, then I can see where religion and having that type of faith may help you, right? But if you're a person who has strong beliefs in yourself and your actions, then you tend not to really go after that higher being. You know what I'm saying? Again, it comes down to what you want to do for yourself and for your family. That's all that really matters. And no one can tell you any different. You know, religion's always a sensitive topic. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that they don't practice it in school, because I want my kids to learn school. I don't want them to having church items in school. It doesn't belong there. Because I believe in a church and state government, separation of church and state government. Like, I would go insane if they were teaching religion in school.
And I did the exact opposite. Like, I put my kid in a school so that he could have that as well. Like, my son,
and that's amazing.
They pray.
They do that, right?
He prays every morning. He prays every afternoon. He goes to church on Tuesday mornings. Like, it's part of his curriculum.
I think Mason, Mason's 4 years old. Mason doesn't pray. When I go outside and come back, he said, "Dad, you do groceries, you buy snacks." That's his way of praying and hoping. So Daddy, go ahead and buy him snacks from doing groceries. You know, he's a sweet, loving kid, and I'm raising my little three that I have, just like I did my older three. I'm giving them options. I'm giving them a view and a lens that's so wide they can grasp at anything and choose on their own what they want to do. And Dad's going to be there to assist them. That means they got to help them find a non-denominational church of their choice. I will do such. I'm that type of father. You know what I'm saying? I will never discourage my children from trying anything. But as long as they taste it and they can understand it and they want to renege on it on their own, that's their choice. But I would never stop them from doing anything, even if that means being in a full-blown religion. Even if they want to become a priest or a nun, that'd be totally up to them. Plain and simple.
And at the end of the day, I guess that's really just our job as parents, right? To support our children and whatever
that's it.
They believe.
Like I said, people are raising God-fearing children as racist. They teach them about the Bible, but they also tell them, hey, don't like minorities or black people. Happens all the time, right? That's the issue we just had in Charlottesville. All those people, neo-Nazis and KKK. I guarantee you, they all say they're religious, they believe in God, but their God is different because their God is white, right?
Another interesting podcast with you, Johnny.
I know, man. I know. This got my blood going.
But I want, again, I'm going to reiterate, please tag me on articles, get on our Instagram, tag me. I want articles on the benefits of raising children in religion because I could not find anything, and that was like sad for me. I cannot believe that I couldn't find anything.
No, but but it shouldn't be because, like I said, you have to create that in your bubble, in your world. There's no study that can really show any of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, only you can witness that. You know what I'm saying? But it also depends. You have to gauge it as far as your kid's knowledge of the faith that you're practicing. That's what you can really gauge it by. Is how interested that kid is or that person is, and how much are they retaining about that subject, and that subject is about the religion you're practicing. That's all it really is, right? And how far that person wants to go with it. So if your son decides that I'm going to be a practicing Christian and I'm going to marry someone who's also a practicing Christian, then you succeeded. That's what you want, right? You wanted him to have structure. You wanted him to have a faith and belief. His faith and belief said, I need someone who's going to match my faith and belief. And that's fine. Like I said, there's no article going to tell you that either or is going to be worse, good or bad compared to one another. Because it isn't. It's just about being good people. If you're a good,
I want to see like metrics or like testimonies or stories or articles.
This ain't a conference room. You're acting up right now. There's not a PowerPoint.
The difference of two children in the same environment, but with religion and without, and see what the differences were. Like, I was even Googling like this morning. I'm like, did Charles Manson have a faith? Like, I was hoping to find like articles on like serial killers who like had no faith, and that's why they were serial killers, right? Like the difference between going to church and not going to church. And obviously there are people who go to church and become criminals, and there are people who don't go to church and are not criminals. But I mean, there has to be more literature out there on the benefits. I mean, so many people in the world are part of a religion or a faith. That's not by accident, right? So I honestly, I'll be 100% honest. I don't know the Bible well enough to like pick out certain excerpts of it. So
just let you know, people are turning away from faith. Time and time again, as we get closer, as we end the future now, and every year passes by, more and more people are straying away from faith.
I don't know if I agree with that, because
absolutely
all these churches are so big, right? Like Joel Osteen has huge followers. I mean, these churches are massive.
You still have the baby boomers was a very large generation. Okay, and if you look at the sea of people who are out there, they're older people. The younger people are not as keen to do religion.
Find me statistics on that. Find me statistics on the fact that religion in this country is.
Now, if it's in the Bible Belt, that's different. The Bible Belt, they go to church every single day. You know what I'm saying? There's Wednesday, there's Friday, there's a cookout on Tuesday night. I might even go. So, but you have to look at it. The world is changing, right? And as the world changes and people begin to live a better life, a lot of times religion doesn't fit into it. Because you're really living a better life. Why do I need to pray for this anymore? I'm living it.
No, I don't believe that. I believe that people who believe in their faith hold on to it even more so the more successful they become, because they believe that they got there.
Right, just like the guy who was actually put the G5 in the Rolls Royce. He's going to pay millions of dollars to be your pastor. No doubt about it. He got the ATM machines in the hole. So, Bob, if you don't have no cash here right now, go ahead. Go right down to the back. It's about 6 ATM machines on the back wall for you right there. Come on,
I hate you. No.
You really need a stadium-sized venue. Come on. You're going to tell me that wasn't planned? You saw the revenue coming in. The roof does not need to be fixed anymore. The church does not need no more air conditioning. That's the only time they were always talking about they need some more ties. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my thing is this, right? If you truly are who you are, as a church, as this huge mega churches, you need to help your constituents. So if someone is about to get evicted or lose their home, there should be programs in that church to help. And I'm not sure if some people do have these programs. Let me know. Hit me up, tag me, say, hey, I'm part of this congregation, and this is what the program they have if someone is out of a home or something like that. Well, to be honest with you, to be yourself and ask your congregation, well, what happens if I lose my home? Can you guys help me? Let me give you 10% of my check every other week.
I just had a conversation with someone today at work. We were talking about the storms. This person lives in Atlanta, but happened to be in Arizona over the weekend, so wasn't impacted by the storms, and she kind of lives like way up in the mountains anyway, so she wasn't impacted. But anyway, she was telling me that she has a relative that lived in Houston who was impacted by Hurricane Harvey, and she's just today she said to me, there was like 2 feet of water throughout the house. And she's like, thankfully, like the church came together. As soon as they were able to get in the house, they all went in there. They ripped out like all of the the drywall so that, it wouldn't start to develop mold. And she's like, the congregation has really been behind them, helping them rebuild their house. I mean, people don't just go to church just to sit there and listen to a preacher and put money in a bucket like you claim. It is a support system. It is.
I think the smaller churches are like that. I say the smaller churches probably have more connection with their people than the larger ones do. Like anything else is large. Think about it, right? You go to a concert with 17,000 people. It's not that intimate. But if you see someone at a bar with 800 people, it's a little different. It's more intimate. So I'll give you that much. He may have had a small congregation he's part of, and those people are more probably close-knit. Let that shit go rogue and get big with 17,000 plus people, 20,000 plus people. Ain't nobody going to this fucking house with another drywall.
Okay.
Then I look at him like he's fucking stupid. Like, motherfucker, better get a pump. You better cut your own shit out. Like, again, and then it's that, it's about relationships that you build. And I think a church.
I'm going to task our listeners with another.
It's a club. It's a club.
I'm going to task our listeners with another piece of homework. Send us information on what your church is doing. What your church, the things that your church is involved in the communities, so we can shut Johnny up.
Yes,
shut Johnny
I want to be proved wrong. I want, please tell me about programs that your church has that can literally assist you if you was in a Florida or a Texas type situation. Seriously. I want you to really look into that, and you need to demand it. If you really love your congregation that much, they need to demand some services to be rendered and done. Because I guarantee you there's people in your own church who are not eating that you don't know about. That they may be coming to church, but they're prideful, they won't say nothing. And does a church really have a program to help and assist people in their own community? And what are you doing in your community? Because a lot of times people say, where's your leaders? And they look at the church for leadership. That I would never do that. I would not go to church for leadership in a community. That makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So figure out what you're doing, what your church is doing, and maybe you may come to realize maybe this congregation is not for you.
Or maybe someone might enlighten you, and you may realize that you need Jesus in your life.
Holy shit. Listen, like I said, I already know where I stand. I love people no matter what. If that's where you stand, I'm not going against the grain. I'm just saying that people, look out for yourself and make sure you're a part of something that makes sense for you, that works for you. So if you want to be in a cult, that's up to you. Hey, if you want to be...
We're never going to have any more listens after this, Johnny.
I ain't say that religion was a cult. I just said if you want to be in a cult, that's up to you, right? There's options for everybody, right? Or if you want to be a faithful, practicing Christian or Muslim or Hindu or Buddhism, doesn't really matter to me. Because I would still shake your hand and have a beer with you, and we could still talk to shit, right? Doesn't matter to me. I don't able to coexist on people. I don't go walking around saying you shouldn't believe in fucking God. No, I don't do that to people. I do not spread my atheism on people. I don't. Am I open-minded to how you may feel? I am, because I went through it. I went to communion. I went to confirmation. I understand that. I understand the whole thing, and I made a conscious decision to step away from it. I read the Bible, and when I read it, it's a bunch of stories. Like I said, the Old Testament is really dynamic. Like, God was gutter. Like, he was, yeah. The New Testament's totally different.
Well,
right?
I'm going to stop you before you continue to put your foot in your mouth and
I'm
you start to
you.
receive hate mail. Guys, send us articles on
the
benefits of religion.
Yes.
Prove Johnny wrong. Let us know what your
Why
church
not
is doing
wrong?
in your
Prove wrong. You have KPIs and metrics. That's your fault. Okay.
And if there's anyone out there who's willing to come back on and do a follow-up and really talk to us about the benefits of your religion, the things that you're doing, who knows the Bible better than we do and is able to just talk us through the Bible, please come on. We need to get Johnny on board.
I invite you on. I guess I'm open-minded. Just be ready to be challenged, because that's what we're here for, to challenge things, right? And that's what these podcasts are about, to bring awareness and challenge things. And you're getting my personal opinion. And it really counts for shit, my opinion. So don't take it too seriously. Hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, I think this topic is kind of just beaten already. So I think we're gonna probably call it on this one.
Stay tuned for the next one, guys.
Stay tuned for the next one, and man, it was a good one. This was really a good one. I love this one. So thank you, Zedif, again for a great podcast. You're amazing.
I'm Bowie. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, people. You guys are amazing. Thanks for the following. Thanks for the hookups on Instagram. You guys are amazing. You're following us. You're commenting. Keep on commenting. And we'll keep on posting. And, man, this one was weird.
Bye.
All right, bye.